Welcome back to Thrifty with AA. Today I'm going to talk about how you can save money on your bills this winter and also stay warmer. Make sure to watch all my tips so you can stay more efficient this winter. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the boiler. So on the boiler, you have a dial that shows the pressure gauge. You have to make sure that that is between 1 and 1.25, because if it's too high, your boiler will be wasting water, hot water, going out of your external outflow. And if your pressure is too low, then your boiler will have to work harder and longer to circulate the water in your radiator system. So ensure your boiler is running at optimum efficiency and the pressure is between 1.25 and 1.5. To increase the pressure on my boiler, I have a tap that's linked to the boiler, which I turn anti-clockwise to increase the pressure, and then I turn it clockwise to turn it off again. Now, you have to find your tap wherever it is on your boiler. I know that it was different on my previous boiler, so that's something that you'll have to work out on yours by doing a little bit of research. Tip number 2 is related to the boiler. It's the radiators. Do you sometimes find that your radiator is not hot enough at the top and it's warm at the bottom? That's because there's air at the top and the water in the radiator system hasn't risen all the way to the top. So what you need to do is get yourself a radiator key and go around all of your radiators and then turn the valve at the top of your radiator so the air comes out. You'll hear the air come out, and once it's fully out, then water will start coming out. Then close the valve back up and you're done. Go around making sure that you do the same for all of your radiators. Do that when the boiler is off, of course. Then you'll notice that the pressure of your boiler has started to come down. And if that's come down, then you need to raise the pressure again back up to 1.25 to 1.5. Tip number 3, wear a jumper instead of just a t-shirt. Put a pair of jeans on or some thick joggers instead of walking around the house with shorts on, and put some socks on. And then go to your thermostat for your radiators and reduce the temperature by 1 degree. And that will save you 10% on your gas. Tip number 4 is one of my favorite ones. It's a very easy fix and it's a very common mistake. So some people have curtains that drape over the radiators, and in our house, our front room is no different. Our curtains cover the top part of our radiator, and as a result, most of the heat goes straight up towards the window. It's great for no condensation around the windows, but that's not what the radiators are for. So when your radiators are on, make sure you tuck the curtains behind the radiators or just fold them up, just put them on the windowsill if that helps. And this is one of my favorite tips because you can actually feel the room get a lot warmer once you uncover the radiators. Tip number 5, if you've got a porch, you're quite lucky because that's an extra insulator. Now, what really annoys me is when someone comes in or goes out and they leave the inner door open. You must keep that inner door closed because that gap in your porch creates an extra layer of insulation from your front of your house to the inside of your hallway. And as a result, your house will stay a little bit warmer. So make the most of it. Make sure that everyone closes the porch door. Tip number 6, use draft strips. Now, draft strips are a very cheap investment. You can put them on yourself and they go around windows and doors. And you can even get draft strips that go on the bottom of doors. Which leads me on to say that make sure overnight you're keeping your bathroom window and toilet windows closed, because you're not using it and it's just going to blow cold air right throughout the house. And if you can, get draft strips for your bathroom and toilet doors so that while the window's open, you're not getting cold air running through the house. Tip number 7, well recommended by many, radiator foil. I've actually tried it before. So you lay this behind the radiator against the wall, and the idea is that all the heat is reflected back into the room instead of heating your walls. I'm sure this method works really well. I've tried this method before. I just couldn't seem to get the foil to stick on the wall for long enough, and I guess because of the heating from the radiator, whichever medium I used, the foil kept coming off. And I've noticed that in some houses where they've got radiator foil, the foil has actually gone wonky and come off. So I've actually abandoned that idea, and that's a tip that I don't actually follow, unfortunately. Tip number 8, on those very cold nights when you're tempted to leave the radiator on all night, just get a hot water bottle, heat it up and put it inside your bed half an hour before you get in. And once you're in, the bed will be nice and warm, and that's a much more efficient way of using your money than heating the whole house up overnight. Tip number 9 is not to do with heating your house, but when you're boiling water to have a cup of tea or coffee, then only heat the amount of water that you need. If you heat anything extra, then that extra water that you're not using will cool down, and eventually when you want another cup of tea or coffee, you're going to have to reheat that water again. So only heat the exact amount of water or a slightly bit more than what you actually need. And my final tip, tip number 10, is not to do with heating, but when you're having a shower, that period when you're putting soap on your body, lathering your body and scrubbing your hair, don't just step out of the shower and do it. Turn the shower off and do it. That way, in those couple of minutes when you're scrubbing yourself, you're not wasting the hot water that's coming down the shower. I hope you found these tips useful. If you've got any better ideas that I haven't mentioned, please mention them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Please subscribe to my channel, motivate me to grow a bit bigger, and I'd love to share more thrifty ideas with you guys in future. Take care. See you soon.